If you want to build real full body mobility and freedom of movement, cramming in a stretch here and there between your exercises won't be enough. To truly advance when it comes to mobility, you need to treat it the same way you treat any other training aspect. Just like we have consistency, routines, and progressive overload when it comes to building strength and hypertrophy training, the same is true for advancing when it comes to your mobility. And while it is very easy to find a training routine online, it is much harder to find an effective full body mobility workout. So today we're going to do a routine you can do for the next 6 to 8 weeks, pretty much on a daily basis if you want to. And we will cover pretty much your entire body, focusing not just on stretching, which is simply the process of lengthening a muscle, but instead we will focus on actual mobility, which is the process of taking a joint through an ever-increasing range of motion. And by the time you are done, you will have a routine that covers every single thing you need when it comes to full body mobility. So if you're ready, let's go and have some fun. Step number 1, mobilization. We're gonna start in a deep squat, grab our toes, and start extending our legs as much as we can. If you can, extend them all the way, raising our hips. And then we're just gonna reverse into our starting position. Now we're always gonna breathe within the movement, meaning breathing in when extending, and breathing out when bending. We're only gonna do this 2 more times. Breathing in, extension. And breathing in, reversal. And one final time, breathing in, extending as much as we can, holding for 3, 2, 1, and breathing out, reversing. We're gonna extend our arms as well, hands on the floor, and now we're gonna actively lengthen our shoulders as much as we can. And now we're gonna bring our knees down when breathing in, and very important, switch into back extension. Just like so, actively flexing our spinal erectors as much as we can. And when breathing out, we're gonna reverse into a deep squat, feet flat or as flat as possible, tucking in our chin, rounding our spine, moving into complete spinal flexion, and lengthening our shoulders and neck. So breathing in, spinal extension, flexing our spinal erectors. And then when breathing out, spinal flexion and lengthening our entire spinal musculature. Only 2 more times. Breathing into extension. Breathing out into flexion. One final time. Breathing in. And we're gonna hold fully flexed for 3, 2, 1. And breathing out, holding completely rounded for 4, 3, 2, 1. And while keeping our hands flat on the floor, we will once again start extending our legs when breathing in, elevating our hips, and this time we want to push our shoulders forward as much as we can without our heels raising from the floor. And when breathing out, we're going to reverse back into this deep squat with a rounded back, a tucked chin, and lengthened shoulders and arms. So breathing in, extending and pushing forward as much as we can, and breathing out, reversing. One more time, in and extending, out and bending. Final time, in, extending, pushing forward. And now if you can, you will elevate your heels and move up onto your tiptoes as much as you can for another 3, 2, 1, and breathing out back into a deep squat, holding with a flexed spine for 3, 2, 1. And now we will combine the last couple of exercises all into one single movement pattern, starting with our knees on the floor and our back in spinal extension. When breathing in, first flattening our feet in a deep squat, then extending our legs, elevating our hips, and then pushing our shoulders forward above our fingertips. And now when breathing out, first into a deep squat with a flexed spine, then knees down to the floor, and then extension in our lumbar spine. Once again, breathing in, deep squat first, extending our legs, pushing our shoulders forward. Breathing out, reversing into our starting position. Once again, breathing in. And now we're mobilizing our ankles, our knees, our hips, our shoulders, our spine, basically our entire body in one single movement pattern. Now breathing out, reversing. And one final time, breathing in, all the way up. And once again, if you can, elevate your heels, move up onto your toes for 3, 2, 1, and out, back. With our knees on the floor. And now we're gonna flatten our feet on their backside, keep our legs wider than shoulder width apart. We need enough space for our hips between our legs so we can push them down towards the floor, maximizing our knee mobility. And once again, hands on the floor, and we're gonna work mainly on pelvic tiltability. When breathing in, spinal extension, elevating our butt the tiniest bit, flexing our spinal erectors as much as we can. And now when breathing out, we're gonna tilt our pelvis forward, around our back as much as we can, pull our stomach in all the way, and now push our butt down towards the floor as much as we can. If you can touch down, that is absolutely amazing. If you can't, don't worry about it. Over time, this will get better. Once again, breathing in, extension and elevating, breathing out, flexion and pushing down. Now working on complete ankle extension, complete knee mobility, hip mobility, and our pelvic tilt, which is very important when it comes to adjusting posture and working on lumbar mobility. Once again, breathing in, extension, breathing out, flexion. A final time, breathing in and holding for 3, 2, 1, and breathing out, rounding and holding for 4, 3, 2, 1, and switching into a quadruped position with external rotation in our shoulders, means turning all the way outwards with our hands. And now when breathing in, we're gonna move as much as we can into spinal extension and stay in this external rotation in our shoulders. And when breathing out, we're gonna move into internal rotation in our shoulders, extend our arms, and now flex our spine as much as we can, as rounded as possible, tilting our pelvis forward, pulling in our stomach, lengthening our shoulders, rounding our back, tucking our chin, and repeating when breathing into extension. And when breathing out into flexion. Only 2 more times. Breathing in, extension and external rotation. Breathing out, flexion and internal rotation. Final time, breathing in, holding for 3, 2, 1, and breathing out and holding for 4, 3, 2, 1, moving our hands into a neutral position by pointing our fingers forward. And we're gonna start with the left side first. Left foot right on the outside of our left hand, just like so. And now, when breathing in, we're gonna push our hips down towards the floor as much as we can by flexing our glutes and pulling our left knee outwards all the way. Now opening up our entire hips, lengthening our hip flexors and quads. And then when breathing out, we're gonna switch into a posterior chain stretch by pushing our hips backwards, lengthening all the way, extending our left leg, and actively pushing our toes towards the floor. So when breathing in, hips towards the ground, stretching our anterior chain on the right side and our adductors on the left side, as well as our glutes on the back side. And when breathing out now, stretching our entire posterior chain on the left side, and from our glutes to our neck on both sides. Breathing in, forward. Breathing out, backwards. Final time, breathing in, forward, holding for 3, 2, 1. Breathing out, backwards and holding for 3, 2, 1. And now we're gonna move forward once again, start right here and take some rotation as a bonus into our spine, meaning when breathing in, right arm opening up towards the ceiling. And when breathing out, right hand down and left arm opening up towards the ceiling. Now switching directions when it comes to spinal rotation. Left side breathing in. Right side breathing out. One more time. Left side breathing in. Right side breathing out. And now while we're here, we're gonna take in a very deep breath. And now when breathing out, we're gonna lower down all the way as much as we can, either on our hands or, if possible, on our arms, just like so, relaxing our neck, tucking our head, and holding statically for a handful of seconds. Now opening up our hips even more and adding some hamstring flexibility as well as glute flexibility on the left side. Just another 3, 2, 1. Hands on the floor once more. Left leg backwards. And now right foot, right hand on the outside. Repeating when breathing in, hips to the floor, flexing our glutes, and now pulling our right knee outwards. Breathing out, reversing, pushing our hips back, and always actively our toes towards the floor. Breathing in, holding the front. Breathing out, holding the back. In. Out. Final time, in and holding the front for 3, 2, 1, and out, holding the back for 3, 2, 1, and once again moving forward into the starting position. When breathing in, once again, spinal rotation, left arm first, opening up towards the ceiling. And when breathing out, switching, left hand down, right arm up. Breathing in, switch. Breathing out, switch. In, switch. Out, switch. Now we're gonna breathe in one more time here. And when breathing out, we're gonna lower down once again onto our arms and relax into this very deep stretch for a handful of seconds. Take deep breaths, relax into this position. Another 3, 2, 1, and back onto our hands and right leg back. And now we're gonna push our hips backwards, lengthening our glutes, our lower back, our shoulders, our chest, opening up all the way. Taking a deep breath in. And now we're just gonna shimmy a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right, releasing any tension we might have surrounding our hip joints and our lower back. Just for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're gonna switch starting positions in a deep squat position. Staying fully upright in our upper body once again. Now, if your heels start raising in this position, don't worry about it. Over time, this should get better. But for now, whatever you're capable of. We're gonna start with internal rotations in our hips, upright, upper body. Left knee right in front of the right foot. Reversing, flattening both feet as much as we can. And then switching into internal rotation on the right side. We're only gonna do this a handful of times. If you can, bring your hands behind your back to have a little bit more core engagement as well. And switching, internal rotation left, internal rotation right. One more time, internal rotation left, internal rotation right. And between every exercise, we're gonna flatten our feet as much as we can, hands on the floor, and just extend our legs. And stretch our posterior chain the tiniest bit for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Returning back into a deep squat position. And now we're gonna externally rotate our hip by pushing our knee and our foot outwards as much as we can. Slowly, carefully placing it on the floor, knees apart as much as we can, adductors as long as possible. Now we're gonna extend our hip, flexing our glutes and our spinal erectors, lengthening our quads, our hip flexors, and our lower abdominals, just for a second, before we carefully reverse into our starting position and switch. Right knee down, extending our hips, flexing the posterior chain, stretching the anterior chain, holding for a second, and reverse and switch to the left side, to the right side. One final time for each side, once left. Always pushing our knees apart as much as possible. One more time to the other side. Back into our starting position, hands on the floor, extending, pushing our hips forward and our shoulders above our fingertips, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back into our starting position. And now we want to maximize our anterior flexibility. We're going to push both knees outwards, carefully place them on the floor, and now we're going to extend our hips first with our hands on our heels, pushing forward, flexing our entire posterior chain, lengthening our entire anterior chain, and opening up our chest and shoulders into external rotation in our shoulder rotators. Holding for 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to reverse. Hands to the floor, back into a deep squat with a rounded back, lengthening our posterior chain, relaxing our anterior chain. One more time. Knees down, and this time, whatever is possible for you, either hands on your heels or, even better, hands on the floor. Now actively pushing our hips forward, lengthening our anterior chain. 3, 2, 1, and back into a deep squat with a rounded back, tucked chin, lengthened shoulders for 3, 2, 1, and one final time. And this time we're going to maximize our anterior stretch even more, placing our feet on their backside, our hands on our feet, and now depending on what you can do, either extending from here or even better, moving down onto your elbows, pushing your hips up from here, or even better, we're going to lay down all the way and actively tilt our pelvis and push our hips up. We're going to hold this position wherever you are at the moment for another 10. Breathe deeply. We have complete stretch starting, surrounding our ankles, moving through our tibialis, our quads, our hip flexors, our lower abdominals, all the way up towards our chest and shoulders. You can even extend your arms sideways. You only got another 3, 2, 1, and now carefully, hands on your heels, sitting up all the way. And now this time, instead of extending our legs, we're going to relax in this position for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're gonna move back into our classic deep squat starting position. And now we're gonna combine internal rotation with external rotation into a 90-90 switch. So we're gonna start with internal rotation on the right side, just as we did before, just like so. And now you're gonna flatten your foot on its backside, push your hips down towards the floor, and now all you need to do is simply externally rotate your left leg. Sit up upright all the way. Now we need to reverse this whole thing. So first, left leg up. Now on the right side, we need to roll over our toes, flattening our foot once more, switching to the other direction. Internal rotation left, hip down, external rotation right. And first, the externally rotated leg up, and then the internally rotated leg. So we've got internal rotation on the right side and external rotation on the left side before we switch again. Up on the left, up on the right, internal rotation left, external rotation right. So now we have a lot of hip flexor strength, core strength to get us up into our starting position. We have a lot of coordination benefits from the combination of internal and external asymmetrical movement patterns. And reversing once more, one final time, to the right side, and back into a deep squat. One more time, hands on the floor, extending our legs, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back into our deep squat. We've only got 2 more exercises and then we're gonna be done. So, internal rotation on the right, external rotation on the left, just as we did before. And now we're going to once again extend our hips, flex our posterior chain, lengthen our anterior chain, hold for 3, 2, 1 before, first sitting down, then back into our starting position, switching, internal rotation left, external right. Once again, hips forward, flexing our posterior chain, lengthening our anterior chain for 3, 2, 1. Sitting down, up, other direction. Extending our hips, flexing the back side, lengthening the front side for 3, 2, 1. Back. One more time into the other direction. There we go. Extending and flexing for 3, 2, 1, and back. And hands on the floor. Extend your legs and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And for our final exercise, we have a full body twist. Let's start with the left side first. Internal rotation left, external rotation right, just like so. And now we're gonna turn our upper body towards the right side as much as we can, adding as much spinal rotation as possible, and then moving our upper body lower and lower towards the floor. Now, maximizing our anterior stretch, adding a lot of spinal rotation, lengthening our obliques, our transverse abdominis, and in general, all of our core musculature, as well as our back musculature, opening up our chest and shoulders, holding this position for another 3, 2, 1. Before we elevate our upper body, get back into our starting position. Internal rotation right, external rotation left, upper body as much as possible towards the left side, hands to the floor, and upper body down as low as possible for another 10 seconds. Breathe deeply into your stomach, expand it as much as you can when breathing in, and pull it in as much as you can when you're breathing out. Full diaphragm breaths. Another 3, 2, 1, and we're only going to repeat this one more time for each side. All the way up, full body twist to the right direction, just like so, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and one final time, full body twist into the left direction. All the way as much as you can. Turn, turn, move down, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. Back into our starting position. One final time, hands on the floor, elevating our hips, extending our legs, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. So there you go, you basically have a full body routine that covers pretty much every single joint and every single muscle in your body, combining strength with flexibility, with coordination, and the tiniest bit of muscle endurance. So you can work on actual mobility and a real routine instead of doing an exercise here, an exercise there, Follow this for 6 to 8 weeks. Do it every second day. If you don't have time, do it every third day. Just do it consistently, and trust me, you will make strides, real fast progress when it comes to your mobility if you can do the same exercises for a longer period of time over and over again. With that said, that's basically all the time I've left for you today. If you like the video, and come on, subscribe. We do stuff like that very regularly, which means I'll probably see you very soon. So until then, have a good one. Captain Cairo. Peace out.